Okay, so we've got everyone back at the table. Karen, I just want to kick off with you for a second, though. We saw on Twitter people are tweeting and even, I'm sorry, Miriam, I apologize. It's easier, they're saying, to overcome these the effects of poverty when you're in the suburbs than it might be in urban core. Agree, disagree?
There is no a yes nor a no for that. There is totally different factors, totally, completely different culture. One of the things that I would like to address, and that is an hour response, but just very quickly to summarize the problems that Karen is having in her community, in her school district. The difference is, and I'm talking just for St. Charles, Lincoln, and Warren, we have learned from the challenges in St. Louis. Our cities and our county leaders get together at the table. The agencies get together at the table, although, mind you, that we are very small in scope in regards to, I mean, we're talking about maybe 10, 15 agencies for these three counties. We are very progressive. We have been very progressive in passing children's tax initiative to make sure that we address the mental health in the school. So we have been very progressive in our community to get, like Chris said, bringing everybody to the table. But remember that for every dollar that St. Louis gets in regards to the housing, or let me turn that around, for every $100,000 that the city gets for housing development and urban development in totality, St. Charles might get $1. So we have to be very transparent. We have to collaborate, cooperate. We must be very serious and very dedicated in how to address the need of that family. And just to narrow it down in regards to the homeless count, and I know that you're familiar with the homeless count, our homeless count is the same, if not higher, than the city of St. Louis. So there's a misnomer that it's easier. It's not. It's just that we are much more concentrated and much more comprehensive because we have learned from the mistakes and the challenges and also the strengths that is happening in the urban core.
Mike, what were you going to say about
I was going to say, your question about how do you get people to care?
The buy-in of everyone.
Right. And we spent a lot of time in St. Louis talking about growth, economic development. A couple of days ago at the Cheshire Inn, we had this big deal about the city-county joint plan for redevelopment. And we spent a lot of money on incentives, and that's what a lot of reports come out. The single most important factor in business location and relocation is workforce availability. You don't have enough financial tax or commercial incentives to attract businesses when you don't have the workforce that they will need over time. The biggest indicator about the quality of your workforce is a function of the quality of your public schools. So when you have a substantial number of people or children in your community who are not successful in schools, then that will be an indicator of the quality of your workforce. Once commercial investors decide that you can't provide the workforce, they're not coming to St. Louis. So you can spend a lot of money, be an upper middle class person who sent your kid to a great school, got them a great college education, but their future in St. Louis will not be any better than the possibilities, of their poor child. So to the extent that we can make it possible for all kids to get a quality education, and to do that, you got to deal with the poverty issue because it directly impacts their ability to function successfully in school. So what's in it for everybody is, to be honest, you can run, but you can't hide. Well, and you will not be any more successful, and your child will not be any more successful than Karen's kids in Maplewood, Richmond Heights.
We have a little less than a minute left.
I was just going to say quickly, to put a footnote on this, this conversation can be very kind of negative, but really there's a great opportunity here. No company would take 20% of its workforce and take it off the table, right? And say we're not going to develop it, right? We're not going to succeed succeed as a region unless we get everybody trained, employed, and maximize their opportunities. So there's a real opportunity here. It's not just a negative, it's an opportunity.